Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is regarding yesterday's White House press briefing, where you had the big three, CBS, Fox, and NBC, team up and work together to go against Karine Jean-Pierre because they're all tired of not getting their questions answered. And let me tell you something, folks. They do not go down without a fight today. There is major pushback happening here in this episode. As always, support us by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a short, sweet comment down below. If you're unsure what to write, just say good morning or something, because the YouTube algorithm really does want to see you interacting with the channel. So by hitting that like button and leave us a comment does yeoman's work in supporting the show. And lastly, just double check to make sure YouTube didn't go into your profile and change that bell icon to say personalized. It really should say all notifications. So just double check to make sure there's no shady business going on like the Biden administration here is doing. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Well, to lead it off here, we got Wei Jing of CBS News questioning her on these documents, and she's being very crafty in the way that she asks these questions. She's trying to basically walk on eggshells. And you'll see Karine Jean-Pierre's response here. But the whole purpose here is the buildup between all three of them, because all three of these reporters, White House correspondents, Wei Jing, and then you have Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, and you have Peter Alexander of NBC News, working together as a buildup to basically see what's going on. Why are you having a blackout? Why are you not answering our questions? And can somebody get on the podium to answer our questions? Watch the pushback here. All three of these people do a phenomenal job, and we love them all. Let's go ahead and continue here to kick it off.
I'm going to keep going.
Thank you, Karine. Just to be clear, my question's about procedures here at the White House and not about anything specific related to the DOJ investigation. So I'm just wondering how this episode has prompted a review of the process in which staffers handle classified information and how they are turned over to National Archives during a transition.
And to be clear, I'm going to refer you to my colleagues at the White House Counsel's Office. They will be able to address that particular questions. I'm just not going to address something that is even related to an ongoing legal process.
Why not? I mean, I'm having a hard time understanding why
I just said
questions about procedure
and I just said to you, the White House Counsel's Office will be able to address that question.
Is President Biden satisfied with the current SOP of handling classified materials here and turning them over to National Archives?
Again, I will refer you to the White House Counsel's Office. They are.
The reason why this is so astonishing, you guys, and not only am I frustrated, you're frustrated, but as I've stated, they are frustrated in that room because they are being thrown around like a pinball machine going, oh, well, you got to talk to the White House correspondents. You got to talk to the DOJ. But no matter who they talk to, they're told to refer to somebody else. So, for example, if they go to the DOJ is telling them to talk to the White House counsel. And then the White House counsel is telling them, well, we'll talk to the DOJ. Or vice versa, telling them to talk to the White House. So they're just being kicked around everywhere, and they're fed up with it. And so the way she crafted this question is, what does the president have to say? Which is Karine's job. It's actually her job to say what the president thinks, what the White House messaging is of all this. And she dodges that as well. There's a full blackout on this, you guys. You can't even ask if you use the Word document, she won't even answer the question. You say Joe Biden now, she practically won't answer the question anymore. You think there's a little bit of shady business going on behind the scenes? It will come out sooner or later, but they still push hard here, and it will continue.
They're the people who would be able to answer that question about classified information.
So just to be clear, from this point on, are you not going to be taking questions about the classified documents? I
have been very clear over and over again. We are going to be prudent here. We're going to be consistent. This particular matter is being looked at. There's a legal process currently happening at the Department of Justice, and I'm going to refer you to the Department of Justice on any specifics to this particular case, and anything that has to deal with what we're doing here, I would refer you to the White House Counsel's Office. And let me remind you, this is not a new process here. We've been doing this for the past 2 years. Anything that is related to a legal process, a legal matter, we refer it to the Department of Justice. There's nothing new in our process here.
Great. Thank you, Karine.
So you have CBS News there asking a phenomenal question as far as you're just not going to answer anything that's even remotely related to this. And she's going, well, this has been our process for 2 years about anything legal. But yet, if it's about Republicans and it's legal, she'll be sure to chime in. Oh, well, they're ultra MAGA, they're MAGA Republicans, Trump this, Trump that. So they're very happy to step in when something happens with the investigation under Trump and Mar-a-Lago. If you notice that, they were all open about that. oh, Trump this, Trump that. When Mar-a-Lago, that was an ongoing investigation, was it not? But they were willing to comment on it and talk all about it. Oh, all about it. But now all of a sudden when it's on them, oh, it's tight-lipped. Oh, sorry, it's our process for 2 years if it's an ongoing investigation, any legal matters, well, you got to go to the DOJ or you got to go to the White House counsel to talk to them about it. But when it's about Trump, oh, they're going to be all open about it. What a bunch of hocus pocus. Well, moving into our second segment here, we have Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, the one that we love here at the Bald Brad Show, other than Peter Doocy and Philip Wegman. She does an awesome job here of finally getting called on. It's been a week. It's been a week since Fox has been called on. So finally she gets her questions at least somewhat answered. And by somewhat answered, I just mean Karine Jean-Pierre just opening her mouth and a bunch of things are coming out. But hell, you got to give her props for at least trying here of getting her questions answered. So she follow-ups here, very similar to what we saw from Wei Jingjing of CBS News regarding these classified documents. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Since so many of our questions have been referred to the DOJ and to the White House counsel's office, I'm sure you can understand that we're in sort of information blackout where DOJ refers us to the special counsel. They're not holding any briefings. White House counsel refers us to DOJ. So if you are not able to talk about this from the podium, would you invite a DOJ official to take our questions here to the briefing?
No, you would have to go to the Department of Justice. That is not, this is a legal matter that is currently happening at the Department of Justice. And the president has been very, very clear when it comes to these types of legal matters, when it comes to investigations, he's not going to interfere. He wants to make sure that we give back the independence that the Department of Justice should have when it comes to these types of investigations. So certainly would not be bringing them here. So I would refer you to the Department.
Just a question, you guys, before we continue with Jackie Heinrich here, not to interrupt her, but if you're calling the DOJ on the phone to get your questions answered, how is that any different, really, than them standing on that podium doing the same thing? I mean, and that could be an argument for Karine Jean-Pierre as well, but the difference is this, you guys. One is in public for the American people to see, like you and I, meaning on that podium, and the other one is behind closed doors where we don't know what's being said other than us actually doing some mega research here and trying to find the breadcrumbs that are embedded with an article from NBC, Fox, CBS, CNN, and all these people. So we want to see them on the podium so that we can actually see as an American public what's really happening here, and it's transparent for all of us to see. So it's a great question by Jackie, and other people have asked this very similar question. Can somebody just get on the podium and answer our questions? Well, we're not going to do that. We want them to be independent. But you can still revert to them and talk to them. Do you understand my logic here? Let me know in the comments below if I'm being clear on this, of them being on a phone and the podium is just a matter of distance. So get them on the podium so we can all see what's going on. So we'll see that kind of hashed out with Peter Alexander of NBC News a little bit later.
Department of Justice. I was just very clear. If you have any questions, I would refer you to the White House counsel's office. They did a call for 45 minutes yesterday, speaking to many of you. I believe there were more than 200 people on that call. And so I would refer you to my colleagues at the White House counsel's office.
If you have 200 people on a phone call, especially White House correspondents and reporters, do you think 45 minutes is enough time? God, you're just really breaking your back to offer them all that time, really? After weeks of this crap where they haven't got any other questions answered. That's why they're in that room asking the same questions, Karine, because they haven't been getting them answered. Or you're just not even asking, or not even calling on them to give a question like you do with Fox News for an entire week. So we continue here. We'll continue. And you see how hard they're working here. You'll see how hard Jackie Heinrich and everybody else and Peter Alexander after are working so hard to push back on what's going on from the White House here with the lack of information and communication that's going on behind the scenes.
We're just not getting a lot of questions.
Go ahead.
Sorry, but on questions that you should be able to answer here that shouldn't have to go to any other agency or entity, can you tell us if there's any sort of assessment that has been planned or launched to determine if national security has been jeopardized at all?
Again, that's for the Department of Justice.
Why is it a DOJ question?
And let's be clear, it's not your decision to make on what I can or can't answer from here. What I'm telling you is that we are respecting the process. We are being prudent from here. There is an investigation currently happening. And when there are investigations that are happening that the DOJ is currently reviewing or looking at, we have been very consistent to say that you need to go to the Department of Justice.
Are they working with NSC or with any other intelligence
Again,
agency?
I would refer you.
Why.
It's very clear. I just laid out. There should be no confusion here. There is a legal process happening, and I would refer you to the Department of Justice. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm confused too. I'm right there with you, Jackie. I'm confused as well. Hand to God. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of yours and everything like that. I mean, I have the episodes to prove it. We're all confused here. We don't know what the hell's going on. And you got to love it. So if you notice, you had CBS News kick it off with asking a roundabout question that was just about documents and the process in general. It wasn't about anything specific to the investigation, just about the process. She's like, we can't answer that question, right? To be clear, you can't answer any questions about this, anything remotely like it. She's like, nope, can't do it. So then you have Jackie Heinrich follow up here going like, okay, well, is there anybody literally out there in the ether, the world, that can answer anything remotely about processes or how things actually work so that we can understand how things work, because you're not answering us about how things work? Nope, can't do it. And by the way, you can't tell me what to answer or not do. Oh, shut up, lady. She's so, if you notice, and again, I am biased because I really enjoy Jackie. I really enjoy Peter and Philip Wegman. So when they're kind of mean to them, it really irks me. It's like when somebody's disrespectful to your family member or to your friend, even though I've never met these people, folks. I don't even know them. But for some reason, she is so mean to Jackie Heinrich, and I don't know why. I don't know if there's beef behind the scenes. And I'm not trying to create beef. It's just something that I've seen as a third-party viewer that covers this all the time. She is, and I can't cuss here on YouTube, but she is a B to Jackie Heinrich, and I don't know why, because Jackie is so sweet and nice to her, which is amazing professionalism coming from Jackie's part, because normally if somebody's mean and disrespectful to you, you give it back. But so kudos to CBS and Fox so far. And boy, oh boy, we saved the best for last, you guys. We got Peter Alexander of NBC News, I believe, here. Major pushback here on him, going, what's going on? Get somebody on that podium. Why not? Why this? Oh boy, folks, he doesn't let up here. As always, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get to it.
Peter.
Can I just follow up on that? We've all reached out to the Department of Justice. A law enforcement official tells NBC News the Justice Department has not told the White House that it cannot talk about the facts underlying the special counsel investigation into classified documents. So trusting you've received that same information, understanding the desire to be prudent, then why can't you speak about the underlying facts?
We've been very clear when it comes to even underlying facts, when it comes to specifics, when it comes to something that is under the purview, that the Department of Justice is looking at, especially legal matters, investigations. We do not comment from here, Peter. That has been consistent.
So
we've been
that
very consistent.
Bob Bauer, who represents the president's personal attorney over the weekend, said that one of the reasons why, and Ian Sams, your colleague who speaks on behalf of the special counsel at the White House, spoke to this in some form yesterday. But he said one of the reasons why they shouldn't reveal further details right now was regular ongoing public disclosures also pose the risk that as further information develops, answers provided on this periodic basis may be incomplete. When the White House did release a statement, the president spoke out on January 9th. The risk of incompletion was a function of the White House's decision not to share all the information it knew, in fact, because we knew on November 2nd, then the first discovery was made. We knew the second discovery was made on December 20th. So there's a risk of incompletion, but will you concede that it's the White House that has been incomplete in its provision of information when it did choose to speak out publicly on January 9th?
My colleague actually dealt with this question on the call yesterday on the White House counsel's office.
He made the same point
as you,
the risk of incompletion.
And I would refer you to the White House counsel's office.
Then is the White House having any conversations internally about finding someone, much the same way John Kirby has spoken on behalf of national security issues at this podium as your colleague, as their representative? Is there someone, is the White House in talks right now to find someone either outside the White House or internally who can speak on behalf of the White House representing the special counsel office within the White House from this podium?
You notice, I don't know if you saw there, Jackie Heinrich Fox News is sitting right next to Peter Alexander here, and she's shaking her head because that's the same question that basically he had. He's just going a step further with it. And if you notice, Jackie's question was the same as other people's questions that were in the room that have been going on for like a week here. So they're pressing this on it because look, they're going, well, you bring out John Kirby, you bring out other people to speak about other things. So why can't you do the same thing here? And just, even if it's not directly about the actual investigation, can you just bring out somebody that's willing to answer anything that's remotely around somewhat of what we're asking? Let's see what she says.
I would refer you to the White House counsel's office.
But you're the communications,
I
you run
would,
communications, so I'm asking about you as a communications matter. playing any
there
part of
is
those
you,
conversations existing?
Peter, you have spoken to my colleague who did, again, a 45-minute call with all of you, answering questions about.
If you would acknowledge it's on background, though, Karine, not on the record until the call ends, that means the American people can't see it in public. So we're asking, will there be a representative who would speak on camera and see it in public?
But the call was indeed, he was quoted, it was in papers, it was on networks.
Correct, but because they can't witness it happening live, Americans don't get the same transparency into this back and forth.
I think.
God, thank you. Thank you. We have frequent viewers here. Have we not been talking about this for like a week? You guys, I got goosebumps. I'm fully invested in these reporters because damn, they do a good job. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes they miss the mark. We're all humans, right? They got an agenda too, just as we do. Guys, I'm telling you, this is NBC. This isn't like Fox, right? Fox is sitting right next to him. You have CBS. They're working together. You see what happens here? They want their and then when you got a White House that sits there and goes dark and doesn't do their damn job and doesn't help them out, you know, they're gonna push back here. You guys, leave a comment letting them know that you love them. Okay, find them on social media. Give them the love that they deserve here because boy, oh boy, they're trying. Notice they're trying to get answers for you guys. It's not like, oh, well, just me, right? The reporters, they're going, we want the Americans to see this. We want them to get answers. And then we cover it here and it just gets blasted, right? Good job. I mean, I'm so freaking stoked about this. I'm so happy that he's doing this great thing about, hey, let's get the American people out there to know what the hell's going on. And us included, meaning reporters.
Is the White House having a conversation?
Peter,
this is just with respect. You guys brought John Kirby in. I'm asking if that conversation exists.
The fact that he spoke to all of you reporters who report on this, and then you all reported on it back to the American people, I believe that is transparency. I believe that he shared information, he answered your questions that you believe that the American people wanted to hear, and he answered those questions.
So
and he took 45 minutes to do that. Anything else that you have on this, Peter, I would refer to the White House counsel. Peter, I'm not. We just went back.
Peter, are you having a conversation about adding a member to the staff to speak publicly on this?
Peter, I actually just answered that question. I said we have someone currently.
So that
right?
means no.
We have someone currently who answered your questions for 45 minutes on a call and took your questions.
Yes.
Took your questions about this particular issue.
Correct.
He will continue to do that. He will continue to engage with all of you, right, on this issue, on this legal process that's currently happening from the White House counsel's office. After that, Peter, I don't have anything else to share. Okay.
So they're going to continue to go dark on this, you guys. And the answer is no, all right? I mean, she's been asked this a lot of different ways, and it is really weird, right, that she just doesn't come out and say no. Like he said, he's like, you could just say yes or no. It's like, is it a big deal? Yes, because you're like, why are you willing to bring other people on that podium to answer other questions about whatever it may be, national security or whatever, but you're not willing to bring the White House counsel? At the very least, I get maybe the logic there of the DOJ. You're trying to separate the departments, right, between the judiciary and the executive branch and all those things. You know, whatever. I understand at least a little bit of that logic, but you can't bring out the president's lawyers. You can't bring out somebody that's willing to communicate on this, which is her job, by the way. It's her job to speak on behalf of the White House, and she's just not willing to do it. So something weird's going on. I'm not saying you have to talk about everything in the investigation, but a lot of their questions have been getting out there aren't like super like down specific necessarily. Some of them are, but a lot of them I feel like you could sit back and at least answer. You know what I mean? But just going, well, I'm going to refer you to the White House counsel. It's the White House counsel. It's White House counsel, DOJ. And they're like, we're not getting our questions answered there either. They gave us 45 minutes with 200 people. Even if you gave everybody 1 minute to either ask a question and get it answered, majority of them probably didn't even speak on that phone call. They don't know what the hell's going on either. So it's kicking the can down the road. It's gone dark. It makes me wonder what's going on out there. And you know what? Fabulous job, folks. They deserve a round of applause for doing their job greatly. Again, that was CBS, Fox, and NBC, and we got our girl Jackie Heinrich doing yeoman's work out there. Folks, we'll see what happens with all this. Like I said, we're going to keep you updated. I know there's a lot of other news going on. I know there's the economy. Heck, I know you got the German tanks or the tank issue happening. I'm keeping updated on everything, but how could you pass this up? I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. They're doing great. And you know what? They're going and pushing back against this lady in the same way they push back against Trump. But hey, you know what? Somebody else is in office now, and I'm loving it. So as always, support us by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a comment down below. Again, you guys, I wouldn't ask you to do if it didn't really help the channel. If you don't know what to say, just say good morning or something. We got a lot of people in the community that show up all the time in the live chat or in the comments below. They would love to respond to you folks. So message each other back and forth. We are a community of conservatives, Republicans. We got to show love to one another. Again, folks, we're going to traditional values here. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on The Bob Brat Show.